Stop telling her she's beautiful. She already knows. That's the first mistake 95% of men make, handing out compliments like candy, thinking it'll win her over. But here's the brutal truth. If you're giving her the same compliments every guy gives, you're just noise in the background. You're not special. You're forgettable. Women are used to being told they're hot, sexy, or pretty. They get it from thirsty guys in their DMs, on the street, and even from strangers who don't know a single thing about them. And here's the punch. Those compliments don't make her feel seen. They don't touch her mind. They don't pierce her heart. But you want her to obsess over you, right? To think about you even when you're not around. Then you need to learn how to say what no one else says. You need to understand the hidden psychology behind the words that actually hit different. The ones that bypass her ego and speak straight to her soul. You see, most men are operating on autopilot when they compliment women. They think being nice is enough. But being nice doesn't make you unforgettable. Being different does. Being sharp, insightful, and strategic does. And when you know the 3 compliments women crave, but rarely hear, you gain access to a part of her mind most men will never reach. And here's the controversial part. The compliments she craves the most aren't about her looks. They're about power, depth, and presence. Compliments that recognize who she is, not just what she shows. That's the secret. That's the game changer. So in this video, I'm not giving you fluff. I'm giving you precision. I'm going to break down 3 compliments that flip the script. The kind that make a woman pause and think, wait, what did he just say? The kind that make her look at you differently, like you see her in ways no one else ever has. Let's get into it. 1. Stop calling her beautiful. Let me hit you with a truth bomb. Calling a woman beautiful does almost nothing, unless you're the one man she's already obsessed with. For most guys, it's a weak move. Why? Because it's exactly what she expects. It's lazy, it's basic, it tells her nothing new about how you see her. The average woman hears the word beautiful hundreds of times a year. From guys on Instagram, random strangers, even co-workers. So when you say it, it blends in with all the other noise. It doesn't make her stop and think. It doesn't challenge her. It doesn't move her. Worse, it can actually make you look needy, like you're trying to win her approval with kindness. But here's the twist. Women don't obsess over the men who worship them. They obsess over the men who get them, who see something deeper. So instead of calling her beautiful, try this. Say something that reflects her energy, not just her appearance. Something like, you've got this calm confidence that's rare, like you're not trying to impress anyone, and that's magnetic. That hits different, doesn't it? Now you're not just another guy pointing out her looks. You're showing her you see what others miss. You're speaking to her identity, not just her face. Here's how this plays out in real life. Let's say you're on a date and she's clearly dressed up, expecting the usual, you look beautiful. Don't give it to her. Instead, wait until she says something clever or handles the situation with ease. Then look her in the eyes and say, you're sharp. Like, you see things before they happen. I respect that. Watch what happens. Her body language will shift. She'll lean in. She'll smile differently. She'll remember that line later. Because it's not just a compliment. It's a reframe. You've separated yourself from every other guy who tried too hard. Remember this. Beautiful doesn't make her remember you, but seeing what no one else sees? That's unforgettable. 2. Why generic praise turns her off. Here's something most men never figure out. Being overly nice and throwing out basic compliments is not attractive. It's actually boring. Generic praise is when you say things like, you're so pretty, you're amazing, you're really cool, you think you're being sweet. But in her mind, you sound just like every other guy trying to score points. It doesn't challenge her. It doesn't excite her. It just feels like background noise. Why? Because it doesn't feel earned. If you barely know her and you're already praising her like she's a goddess, She starts thinking, does this guy say this to every woman? He doesn't even know me. And once she doubts your intentions, it's game over. She pulls away, not because you were mean, but because you were predictable. You became safe, simple, and easy to decode. That's the opposite of what creates desire. Now here's where it gets powerful. Instead of giving her praise that sounds like a recycled line, give her something specific and earned. Make her feel like she stood out to you, not because she's pretty, but because she made an impact. Let's say you're texting a woman and she gives you an opinion that's bold or different. Most guys would say, ha ha ha, you're funny, or that's cute. You? You pause and say, you don't think like other women. I respect that. Most people are afraid to say what they actually think. Now that hits hard. You've just complimented her courage, her mind, her originality. And it wasn't random. You tied it to something she did. That makes it feel real and earned. Suddenly, you're not the guy giving compliments to get her attention. You're the guy who notices what matters. You're the one she starts thinking about when she's alone. So here's the rule. If it sounds like a line from a dating app bio, don't say it. If it sounds like something only you could say because you noticed it, say it. That's where the magic is. 3. The compliment that hits her soul. Every guy wants to leave a lasting impression, but here's the part no one tells you. Most compliments never even make it past her ears. They bounce right off, in one ear out the other. Why? Because they don't touch anything real inside her. If you want her to think about you when you're not around, if you want her to replay your words late at night, then you need to understand something most men overlook. Women don't crave surface-level approval. They crave emotional recognition. That means saying something that reaches beneath the mask, beneath the makeup, beneath the image she presents to the world. Something that says, I see the part of you that you don't show everyone else. Think about it. Most women, especially the attractive ones, go through life being admired for the obvious. Their looks, their style, maybe their body. But rarely does someone stop and speak to what's inside. Her drive, her values, the way she carries pain and still keeps going. When a man picks up on that, it changes everything. She starts wondering why you see something others don't. She questions what makes you different. She starts to feel emotionally exposed, but in a way that's addicting. Because deep down, every human being wants to be understood. And women, they connect emotionally first. If you hit that emotional button, she will remember you. Not just for hours, but for days. But most guys never go that far. They stay on the surface, saying what's safe, what they think she wants to hear. And that's exactly why it never lands. Here's the truth. The compliments that hit her soul are the ones that don't just flatter her. They make her feel seen. Not admired, not approved of, understood. And when a woman feels understood, she lets her guard down. That's when obsession begins. This isn't about manipulation. It's about connection. Real influence starts when you stop talking at her and start speaking into her mind, into her identity, into her energy. Once you learn how to do that, you stop being an option and start becoming unforgettable. 4. Tell her what she's not used to hearing. Let's be real, most men are running on autopilot when it comes to women. They recycle the same tired lines, offer compliments that feel like background noise, and expect magic to happen. It won't. Because if you're saying what she's already heard 1,000 times, you're just another blur in her inbox. Here's the harsh truth. Women aren't impressed by repetition. They're numb to it, conditioned to expect it. From random DMs to guys fawning over them at work, they hear the same nonsense over and over again. And yet, men keep doing it. Why? Because they're afraid to stand out. They're afraid to disrupt the pattern. But if you want to wake her up emotionally, you have to say something that she didn't expect but needed to hear. Not another compliment about how gorgeous she is. Not another, you're so sweet, or you're wifey material. That's safe, and safe is forgettable. You've got to break the script. Because once you disrupt what she's used to, you get her attention. And attention is the first step to obsession. Here's what most men don't get. She's not bored because she hasn't met the right guy. She's bored because no one's given her a new experience, especially with words. Women crave something real, something thoughtful, something that stings a little, or makes her pause and go, damn, he really sees me. But to do that, you've got to stop being a people pleaser. You've got to stop acting like her praise is your reward. Wake up. You're not a servant. You're not a fan. You're a man with standards, with perspective. And your words should reflect that. Tell her what she's not expecting. Compliment something that other guys overlook. Speak with intention, not desperation. And never be afraid to say something that makes her question herself a little, in a good way. Because when your words disrupt her usual rhythm, when they make her stop scrolling, stop smiling, stop expecting, that's when she starts thinking. That's when you start standing out. And when you stand out, she won't just listen, she'll remember you. 5. Praise her subtle strengths, she'll melt. Here's what most guys don't realize. Women don't always want you to notice the loud stuff. They want you to catch the quiet things. The things they do when no one's watching. The strengths they don't brag about. The little details that go unseen. Why? Because those are the parts of her that feel the most real. And when a woman realizes you've picked up on something subtle about her, she doesn't just feel flattered. She feels emotionally exposed. In the best way. Most men focus on what's obvious. Her beauty, her smile, maybe her laugh if they're feeling creative. But here's where you take it further. You notice her emotional toughness. The way she keeps herself together when life hits hard. The way she keeps showing up for others even when she's drained. That's the gold. That's where the real connection is. You see, women walk around carrying a lot. Pressure, insecurities, expectations. But they wear it well. They smile, they post, they hold it together. And behind all that, there's usually a woman hoping that someone notices how strong she's had to be. Not the fake kind of strength, the quiet strength. The I'm tired but I'm still going strength. The I forgive people who don't even deserve it strength. The I carry my pain alone strength. When you notice that, when you say something like, you're stronger than you let on, or you've got this calm energy, like you handle chaos better than most, you're not just complimenting her. You're validating her experience. You're telling her, I see what others miss. And that unlocks something powerful in her brain. She starts to associate you with safety, with depth, with real connection. And trust me, once a woman feels emotionally seen by a man, she's hooked. So stop looking for the obvious. Any man can compliment beauty. But it takes a different kind of man, a man who pays attention, to compliment the kind of strength that doesn't post selfies. Do that. And she'll start wondering how you saw what no one else could. And that curiosity, it turns into craving. 6. Respect what she creates, not just what she is. Here's a truth most men completely miss. She doesn't just want to be admired, she wants to be respected. And not just for how she looks or how she makes you feel, but for what she builds. See, we live in a world where women are constantly evaluated for being. How pretty she is, how feminine she is, how desirable she seems. But the game changes when a man notices and respects what she does. Her creative side, her ambition, the energy she puts into her goals, her work, her passion projects, her hustle, whatever it may be. This is a layer most men completely overlook. And that's why most men never make it past the surface. Think about this. She might be building a small business, managing a team, creating content, helping people grow, or even just handling a household like a CEO. That's not just her being a woman. That's her being a creator, a leader, a force. And when you acknowledge that, when you look her in the eye and say something like, most people don't get how much work that takes, but I do, you've separated yourself from every other guy who only knows how to say, you're sexy. Women don't just want lovers. They want witnesses to their evolution. But here's the mistake too many men make. They compliment her body and ignore her mind. They hype up her appearance, but stay blind to her ambition. Wake up. Real women respect men who recognize effort, vision, grit. Because when a woman is creating something, whether it's art, business, or just peace in her chaotic life, she's revealing her essence. And if you see that and speak on it, she'll crave your voice. She'll associate your presence with recognition she rarely gets. So next time you're with her, look beyond the aesthetics. Ask about what drives her, what she's building, what she's dreaming. Because when you start respecting what she creates, not just what she is, you stop being another admirer and start becoming a rare kind of ally. And trust me, that's the man she'll obsess over. 7. Admire her discipline, not just her drive. Most men don't know the difference between drive and discipline. And because of that, they say things like, "Wow, you're so ambitious," or "I love how motivated you are." Sounds good, right? Wrong. Because here's the twist. Anyone can want something. That's drive, that's energy. But not everyone has the discipline to stick to it, to follow through, to show up when it's not fun, not easy, not pretty. That's the part women rarely get credit for, and that's the part most men overlook. See, when you compliment a woman's ambition, you're admiring her spark. That's cool. But when you recognize her discipline, you're admiring the fire she keeps burning in silence. The late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices, the mental toughness, the grind that no one applauds. That's rare, and it hits different. Because women are used to being praised for outcomes. You're doing great. You've achieved so much. But very few men have the depth to say, "I respect how consistent you are." That takes a different kind of strength. You want to make her obsess over you? Stop complimenting what everyone can see. Start praising what most men are blind to. Let her know you notice the self-control it takes to build herself up, the way she trains her mind, the way she sets boundaries, the way she walks away from drama, from easy validation, from fake success. That's not just admirable, it's attractive as hell. Because here's what women know deep down. Drive gets attention, but discipline earns respect. And when a man sees that discipline in her and doesn't just applaud it, but genuinely values it, he taps into her deepest sense of self-worth. You stop being a guy who's just impressed. You become someone who understands, who sees. And that's powerful. Because the moment a woman feels seen for the strength behind her routine, not just her results, she begins to crave your presence like a mirror she didn't know she needed. That's the impact of real words, not flattery, but clarity. 8. Make her feel rare, not just wanted. Here's a brutal truth most men don't get. Women don't want to feel like just another option. They want to feel rare, unique, irreplaceable. Most guys waste their time trying to make a woman feel wanted, like they're just another girl on a long list of admirers. But here's the catch. Being wanted is cheap. Being rare is priceless. Think about it. When you tell a woman, "You're beautiful," or "You're amazing," it's easy to say that to a dozen others, so it doesn't mean much. But when you show her, you get the quirks no one else notices. The little contradictions, the layers beneath the surface. That's when she starts to believe, "No one else could ever be like this. No one else would ever see me like this." That feeling, it's intoxicating. It's addictive. And this is where most men fail. They think being charming or confident is enough. But if every guy is confident, and every guy is charming, then the woman's brain starts to filter all of them out. She becomes numb. She becomes bored. But if you make her feel rare, not just like someone who's wanted by many, but like the only one who matters, you break through the noise. You get her attention, you get her curiosity, you get her obsession. Here's how you do it. Notice the details no one else does. Call out the qualities she hides or downplays. Celebrate the contradictions she never talks about. Because women, more than anything, want to be seen for who they really are. Flaws, strengths, and all. When you do that, you don't just make her feel good, you make her feel special. And once she feels special, she won't be able to stop thinking about you. So forget being just another guy who says you're hot. Be the guy who makes her feel rare. Because rarity creates obsession. And obsession? That's where real attraction lives. 9. Notice her growth, not just her appearance. Look, it's easy to compliment a woman's looks. Everyone does that. But if you want to make her really obsessed, you need to go deeper. Notice her growth. Women change. They evolve. They learn from mistakes, pick themselves up, and push forward. But most men, they stay stuck on the surface, on how she looks right now, and completely ignore the journey she's been on. Here's the problem with that. If you only praise her for what's obvious, she'll start feeling shallow. She'll wonder if you even care about the person she's becoming. And that kills attraction. But when you say things like, I see how much you've grown since last year, or you handle things way better now, it's impressive. You show her you're paying attention to her evolution, to her strength, to her effort. That hits differently, because everyone loves to feel like their hard work and progress matter, especially women who've faced emotional battles or tough life lessons. When a man notices growth, he sends a message. I respect your journey. I see you becoming better, and I want to be part of that. That creates emotional intimacy, which is far stronger than physical attraction alone. 10. Value her opinions, not just her presence. Here's a harsh reality many men don't get. Women want more than just to be seen or heard. They want their opinions to matter. It's not enough to simply show up and look good. If you want a woman to truly obsess over you, you have to value what she thinks. Too many men treat conversations like a checklist. Talk, listen, compliment, repeat. But that's surface level stuff. The difference is in engagement, in making her feel like her mind is just as important as her looks or her presence. Women have a deep need to be respected intellectually and emotionally. When you ask her opinion and genuinely consider it, you show her she's more than just eye candy. You show her that you respect her judgment, her experiences, and her ideas. Here's why this matters. When a woman realizes you value her thoughts, she feels understood on a whole new level. She feels connected. And when a woman feels connected, she starts to want more of your attention and presence. But here's where most men fail hard. They either dismiss her opinions or pretend to listen while waiting for their turn to talk. That's a fast way to kill attraction, because it tells her, you're not really important to me. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop your experiences in the comments. What compliments worked, which didn't, or what you've noticed women truly respond to. I'm not here just to talk at you. I'm here to connect, to learn from you, and to help you master this game together. So comment below. Let's start a real conversation. Because the men who understand this, they don't just attract women, they make them obsess.